what are the odds of Texas playing 3 back-to-back backup quarterbacks in a row? What are the odds of that? When does that happen?
Is Dylan Gabriel hurt?
No, exactly. I don't know.
His back could seize up on Friday, just like Jalen Daniels.
They need to keep that dude safe. They need to make sure he's locked up. Like have y'all heard of that before? Those series? I mean, TCU was knocking. They knocked out quarterbacks though.
They did.
They were knocking out quarterbacks. If I'm not mistaken, they knocked out like 3 or 4 quarterbacks.
More than that. I think it was 5 or 6.
Yeah, they knocked out a bunch of them.
They knocked out Dylan Gabriel last year, the week before the Texas game. With that really dirty hit when he slid and the linebacker decked him and he didn't play.
They were knocking guys out. That's different than just not guys being unavailable.
Yeah.
It's man. Well, you know what? It takes a little luck if you want to go. You want to be a special team.
Yeah, ball's got to bounce your way. I mean, gosh,
I'll take it.
You got to stay as injury free as you can, and now the Longhorns are dealing with Jatavion Sanders as an ankle that they're hopeful is not structurally injured. He'll be okay. He's got to get the treatment this week, and he'll be good to go. But yes, I mean that is a break. I mean Jalen Daniels. All of a sudden, you're watching warm-ups. We did the pregame show on Saturday from Mockingbird, and all of a sudden you start hearing, wait a second, why is Jason Bean taking all the first-team throws on the field? Where's Jalen Daniels? He's not even out there.
Not even out there.
What the heck? Then, of course, his back seized up on Friday on the way down here.
Been an issue for him. Apparently, like in his career, he's been had back issues.
And if you have back issues, it can crop up at any time. You just
don't know.
He just
slept wrong or something like that. I don't
Maybe
know what
on the
it was.
airplane.
Because he practiced all week, apparently.
Yeah. Well, that also, and
we'll take it. Okay.
I was pretty, even though it's 40-14 and Texas, was dominant. I was impressed with Kansas to have that happen. Not only did you not have your quarterback, Jason Bean didn't get a lot of reps all week long, right? And all of a sudden he's out there against this Texas defense. I thought they were admirable to make it a game and keep it a game and force some field goals
early. As long as they did.
Yeah. And obviously they just wore out, and Texas is a really good team and eventually just too much talent. But I think Kansas, they get Jalen Daniels back, they'll be battling for good things in the Big 12 this year. Nothing to hang their head about leaving this place. But Texas has now got another double-digit win over a ranked team. That's, 3? Double-digit wins. Well, no, this week could be their third.
Yeah, it's 2.
2
so
wins
far.
over a ranked team, double digits both.
Yeah.
And and as you said with us on the Inside Texas Watch Along.
Yeah, I wasn't worried though about Kansas. I don't think anybody was. Well, maybe some people were. Some people made it stressed out early on. I don't think there was any reason to stress. I told you on the in-game live watch, which by the way, E. Hogan did a great job as always.
Thank you. We love doing that. Watching the game with you, the Texas fans.
Yeah, I was on with you during the second quarter. And it was tight during the second quarter. I know some Longhorn fans were upset about the option plays that the defense gave up. And I told you at the time, I said, there's nothing to worry about because that was the only thing Kansas could do.
Yeah,
and it wasn't like
option.
Yeah, and it wasn't like Texas wasn't going to adjust to it. They were going to eventually adjust, and when they adjusted, Kansas would have nothing. And that's essentially what happened. Was Texas was able to figure out the triple option, and they had nothing, and which made a lot of sense. And you pointed out early in the week, Texas hadn't seen the option. So they hadn't seen the option. First time they had seen it in real time, and they adjusted to the speed of it. And we've seen this now with this team, right? We saw Alabama game. Alabama had the run game working early on. And then PK and Texas shut it down. Wyoming had a couple of runs early on. They were able to get some things going, had that big run early. And then Texas pretty much for the rest of the game shut things down. And then once again we see it, the option for Kansas, it has some life early on, but then Texas decided to, pretty much
shut it down.
Yeah, they shut it down.
Second half,
really
they
well.
were really good. Outside of the one big play over the top, that was pretty thoroughly dominant defensively in the second half. Yeah. And you predicted that as we were watching the game. That's why you should watch that with us on the On Texas Football YouTube channel for Inside Texas, because Rod lets you know, the football theorist, he was not concerned. And but Longhorn fans are excited that something big's happening. This can be a championship run in their final year in the Big 12, and it seems like they've got the right mix of veterans and young players and talent to do it. And when you're kind of dancing around, because in the third quarter when they hit that big bomb, and all of a sudden you think, oh gosh, we're one-score game here, and but they continue to show that they can pull away, right? They can stretch the lead, they can take over a football game, and that's impressive. That's impressive. Can I play you a little bit of Sark, his opening thoughts from the game after it was over?
Let's do it.
At 40-14. Here's Sarkin, kind of like you. He trusts his team. It's a 60-minute ball game. You're not going to win and dominate every single quarter of every single game. Here's Sark with an overview of what he saw on Saturday right afterwards.
The balance on offense was really critical. You can throw for over 300,
You can rush for over 300 and have a 200-yard rusher and have two receivers basically have 100 yards receiving. That's good balance. The ball was getting spread around the right way today. We found explosive plays. We remained explosive as an offense today. But I thought defensively, they hit 2 plays. Outside of that, well, our defense really played really well again, and I think what they were able to do on 3rd down and 4th down, I think against a team that was either number 1 or number 2 in the country on 3rd down conversions, to hold them to 0 for 8 was really good football. And all in all, I'm proud of the guys. It was a heck of a win against a good football team. Great environment at DKR again. Great environment, and we set ourselves up for an awesome opportunity next week.
It will be an awesome opportunity, and once again for the defense, we thought it would be last week, and it wasn't. It'll be their first chance facing a good quarterback. They haven't faced a good quarterback yet.
You're right about that.
Right, Jalen Milrose, he's a good athlete playing quarterback. He's got elite traits at the quarterback position, but he wasn't a great quarterback. He even benched him after that. So Dylan Gabriel's a good quarterback. Hell, some would even say he's a great quarterback. And this will be the first test for the defense in that regard. I'm sure they're up to the task. But that's what I want to see. I'm really interested to see that. Matter of fact, it'll be the best quarterback they face all year.
Yeah,
pretty
Dylan,
much.
and he's off to a great start.
Jalen Daniels, was unavailable.
Yeah, I mean, look, I was surprised. I'll admit that Oklahoma hung 50 points on Iowa State Saturday.
I'm with you on that. Yeah,
Iowa State. We thought their defense could hold them back, but Iowa State, after that gambling scandal through the offseason, not the same team. We knew they struggled offensively, but man, 50 points against that team at Oklahoma on Saturday. Both teams handled their business emphatically. A 40-14 win for Texas. 50 points on the board for OU. Both undefeated. And that will lead to a lot of hype. We mentioned College Game Day. We told you that last week, that if both teams win, you could expect College Game Day to be in Dallas, and they will be at the Cotton Bowl. That'll make it plenty of hype. When you bring College Game Day, Rod, that also brings now the Pat McAfee show will be there on Friday morning. That's been whether it was Duke or Colorado, they bring the whole thing down there on Friday. So it's kind of a 2-day thing now for College Game Day, covering the biggest game of the week, and this will certainly be that because. This is one of those, the Longhorns have been established as just under a touchdown favorite early. But at the same time, winner of this game, loser of this game, feels like they can get back and meet that team again. This could be one where we're looking at a rematch. But you'd rather go handle your business, put yourself in the driver's seat, and we have all week to preview that game. So looking forward to it. But this morning will be about looking back at what went well for the Longhorns on Saturday.
And, the JT Sanders injury it's concerning because I think he's going to be available because he's a freakish athlete, and they'll have great, training sessions with him in the training room, and I think he'll, be available. He probably won't practice much, but he's a guy that's a veteran and he knows the playbook, so he'll just be available. But if he's not 100% or even 90%, say he's like 75%, it does make him easier to defend.
It does.
And that's the thing that he's the biggest matchup nightmare on your offense, period. Even more so than Xavier Worthy. Xavier Worthy is easier to neutralize because you can do it via coverages and a lot. You can double them. You can roll coverage to them. There's just other ways you can defend, more ways, I should say, you can defend Xavier Worthy. Not as much with JT Sanders. Only a few guys you can put on JT Sanders because of where you line him up, and Sark moves him around so much. So we'll get into it, the X's and O's of it in behind the burn orange curtain. But it definitely changes the offense, the complexion of the offense a lot when JT Sanders is not 100%.
Well, and as you said, if Dylan Gabriel doesn't get hurt at some point this week, the Longhorns will face their best quarterback that they face. So a lot of challenges there. Yeah. As for Sark's thoughts there, to have a 200-yard rusher, and let's give a bouquet to Jonathan Brooks. He just continues to emerge as the obvious RB1. C.J. Baxter had a decent game, but man, 21 carries, 218. And it's funny to watch him run these days, right? It's like he's a combination of Roschon and Bijan. He's not either of those guys, but he can shake it a little bit like Bijan does. He can make guys miss and force arm tackles because he's got a little wiggle to him. But he's got some power where he runs through arm tackles once he gets him off balance a little bit. And he has really broken out. The Baylor game was dominated by Jonathan Brooks, the Wyoming game, and then the end of the Alabama game. This guy has established himself as one of the best backs in the Big 12.
He is. He looks really. I think his ability, his balance at the second level is really impressive. That's why I think it's elite about him. That's why you can't really bring him down with one arm tackle. His balance is special, and he doesn't have breakaway speed, but he's got enough that if you don't have the right angle on him, he can pull away from you. And he is having probably early on some of these big breakaway plays more so than even Bijan and Rojo had. And I think it's because of the offensive line, too. Yeah. I think he's doing great. I'm not taking away from him, but I think it's a combination now of the maturation and the development and continuity of this O-line, too. Finding their groove, and they're physical now. Yeah, it's a physical bunch.
It is.
And so I think it's both.
It is, and then we've all said that if they can run the ball and establish that was the big question mark of the offseason, who replaces that production of those two great backs, that they're going to be really hard. And Quinn Ewers has really stepped in, and you can just see him getting more and more comfortable in this offense. 25 of 35, 321 yards and a touchdown. Also ran for another touchdown. He's become the legs are a part of this offense now with his athleticism. And we'll hear Sark talking about it coming up. But with so much, especially after J.T. Sanders left, there's just going to be so much coverage devoted to X-Man Xavier Worthy. Well, Donnie Mitchell steps up with 10 catches, 141 yards and a touchdown.
Big game.
X-Man still got his, 7 for 93. So, I mean, this is a dynamic offense. We know that. And that's the one thing that jumped out to me. The emergence of Jonathan Brooks as a lead back, and then the development of Quinn Ewers. He's just getting more and more comfortable, more and more relaxed within this offense, and you just kind of see him flourish of what they need him to do and just to execute the offense.
Yeah.
Make throws.
You got the weapons that it's easy to find and manipulate the one-on-one matchups. When they decide, we got to roll coverage to Xavier Worthy, A.D. Mitchell's going to be one-on-one. A.D. Mitchell can win one-on-ones consistently. Jay Witt can win one-on-ones most of the time as well, too. So you just got guys that can win one-on-ones. All you got to do is trust your weapons. And I think he's right now playing some of his best football. And keep in mind, for Quinn, I do think the legs element, him now running a lot more, scrambling a lot more, I think that's Sark encouraging him, hey, if they give you the green grass, take it. And it is symbolic that's the game now that he has. He just takes what the defense is giving him.
Yeah.
There's no need to, right? In his game right now, considering the weapons that he has, there's no need for him to try to do too much within the offense. All he has to do is just take the one-on-one. A.D. Mitchell's got one-on-one. I'll take it. You going to do that all game long? Okay. He'll have 10 catches for whatever he had, 141 yards. And I think the same thing happens when he decides to run. And some of that's game planning on the goal line when he has the quarterback keeper. That's Sark game planning. That's Sark telling Oklahoma, hey, just so you know, in the red zone, the goal line, which is something we'll also get into, the red zone. There's still coaching points, and that's one of them. But I love that play, had the quarterback keeper in the red zone on those plays now, because a lot of those defensive ends, they can't crash down on the run in the power run game in the red zone on the goal line, because now you have to worry about Quinn Ewers' legs.
Yeah.
One more thing you got to worry about.
Well, he's your leading touchdown scorer this year, right?
Right?
I mean,
it's like, that's crazy.
Yeah, and he's obviously the 20 pounds lighter, the little lighter in his step. He looks more athletic in the pocket, and then when he does take off, he's got more speed than you think.